Hey, welcome back to our video series on how to use trigonometry to solve for right triangles. On this video, we're going to talk about how to find a missing side length using sine, cosine, and tangent. First thing you should know is that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Your cosine is going to be the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, and your tangent is the opposite over the adjacent side. Now, how do I find those sides? Find your opposite first by drawing a line straight across from your given angle. That's your opposite. Your hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, and your adjacent is just that third side. It's next to the given angle. Okay, so once we've identified those three sides, let's figure out which two we have. Looks like I have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to look through these three, and I'm going to look for which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse. It looks like cosine is that ratio. So on this side, I'm going to use cosine to solve for x. Well, sine, cosine, and tangent are always in reference to an angle. So cosine of what angle? Well, our given angle was 54 degrees, right there. So cosine of 54, and our cosine by definition is the adjacent over the hypotenuse as a fraction. So what is the adjacent? The adjacent is x, and the hypotenuse is 12. Now, there's one more step we have to do to get the x by itself to solve. I see division. I see something being divided by 12. So if I want to undo that, if I want to get rid of the division to get x by itself, how do I undo division? Well, the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'll multiply both sides by 12 to get the x by itself. And that's going to come in handy, that idea of opposite operations, when you look at the angle measure video. So this one says that 12 times the cosine of 54 would be equal to x. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 12 times the cosine. It's 12 times, and then usually cosine's right in the middle of the calculator. And then in parentheses would be that 54 degrees. And I'm going to get 7.05 or 7.1. Let's try one more together, and then I'll give you a shot at trying a third one, and I'll show you all the work on that one so you can check your work with me. Now look at number 4. Again, first things first, we got to identify what sides do I have. That's my opposite. There's my hypotenuse across from the right angle, and that's the adjacent side. I have the adjacent and the opposite. So let's go back and figure out which one uses adjacent and opposite. Okay, so which one of these three has adjacent and opposite? Looks like tangent is going to be our ratio for number 4, opposite and adjacent. This is opposite over the adjacent. So I'm going to say the tangent of, well, it's got to be the tangent of an angle. In this case, we were given 23 degrees. And the tangent, by definition, is the opposite side over the adjacent side. So the opposite side is x, and the adjacent side is 6. Okay, now I want to get the x by itself, but I'm dividing it by 6. I need to get rid of that division, so I'll do the opposite of dividing by 6, which is multiplying by 6. Which means that now I have 6 times the tangent of 23 degrees equals just x. 6 times the tangent of 23 degrees. If I type that into my calculator, I'll get a final answer of 2.55 or 2.546 I'll just go with 2.5. I'll round to the tenths place. All right, I'm going to zoom out, see if you can get 6 on your own. Pause the video, try number 6, and then unpause to check your work. All right, first things first, got to find my angle. So opposite of that angle, straight across from that, is 29. My hypotenuse is across from the right angle, which means that this x is my adjacent. So I have opposite and adjacent. Well, which one of these uses opposite and adjacent? This is opposite hypotenuse. This is adjacent hypotenuse. Your tangent is the opposite and the adjacent. So I'm going to use tangent. Okay, so tangent of what angle? What angle was I working with? 55 degrees. So tangent of 55 is, opposite is 29, and then the adjacent would just be x. Now when you get to this type of problem, I would stop here. If you got here, you're doing pretty good. Now, I see division by x. So I need to get rid of the division. I'm going to multiply by x on both sides. This one's a little bit longer of a problem. There's one more step than usual. Now, once I've gotten to this part, I see my x. It's not by itself, but I see it. I can almost taste it almost by itself. So what do I need to do? I see multiplying by the tangent of 55. So I'm going to do the opposite to get rid of the multiplying. I'm going to divide by the tangent of 55 on both sides, which means that these are going to go away. They reduce to just 1, so that gets rid of that. And now x, just x all by itself, equals 29 divided by the tangent of 55. So in my calculator, I'll type over 29 divided by the tangent of 55. And that should get me a final answer of 20.31 or 20.3. Check out the video on how to find angle measures using trigonometry. Let me know what questions you have. Send me an email, or I will see you in class.